This week on Framing Australia, we go further north than we've ever been before. Along the way, we decide to get into the spirit by stopping off at a hotel. And then a little while later, we get into a different kind of spirit by stopping off at a church. Finally, we get to our destination, where we get some great sunset shots, some star shots, and then in the morning, a nice sunrise. Following that, well, you'll just have to watch and find out. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Guru Dog's Framing Australia. This week, we go on a journey that we've been wanting to do for a long time. We tried to plan it, but it just never seemed to work out. Timing was never quite right. But this weekend, everything fell into place. So we grabbed a couple of mates, and we headed off. Headed up north, further than we'd been before. We'd planned a 3-day trip, but that was about to become a 1-day trip. We'll get to that a bit later. The two mates, well, you haven't met them yet, and we'll get to that in a little while. But off we set, and the further we went, the drier the land got. Started off nice and green, but then, as we went further, it got drier and drier, until eventually, well, there wasn't much except salt bush and a bit of old scrub. But we didn't care. We were happy to just be doing what we're doing, having fun together, the four of us. First place we come across that we wanted to stop at was a place called Johnburg, and in particular, the old hotel. We're here at Johnburg. This is what's left of the old Johnburg Hotel. We're still on our way up to our final destination, but we couldn't bypass this without stopping and getting some photos. This old girl has been here for a long time. You can see inside some of the wallpaper still peeling off the walls. As we go along, we can see an old desk. You can see the old roof there. the old ceiling. It's just crumbled in. And look at that cracking big old window. You can see Ashley there getting down low with some shots of the old place. We've got 3 days on this trip, and probably about 1,500 kilometres or more of driving, which is close to 1,000 miles for you Americans. But the rest of the world, the majority, talks in kilometres, and we're talking about 1,500 kilometres. Oh, it's special guest, Mr. Dennis. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Are you enjoying this site? You like it?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
The official. This one.
There you go. Oh, look, here we go. There we go.
Welcome.
It's nice to have you on board. So what do you like about this spot?
I think it's a lot of work's gone into it, and it's a shame to see it in such ruin. But you start to imagine the people that would have gathered here in the past.
And that's it.
Coming in from all the outlying stations.
Yep.
For things. It's just
exactly.
Yep.
And as farming and everything else has changed over the years, the need for a place like this has dwindled, and this is what happens, isn't it?
Yeah. You look at the decor inside. You've got wallpaper. You've got things like that. It wasn't just a dwelling. Someone spent a lot of time making it a very high quality dwelling.
That's right.
And yet we see it in this state of disrepair.
Never mind. But this is like documenting history, isn't it, mate?
It is, yes, it is.
Very good.
Yeah.
I love your haircut, by the way.
Yeah,
There's something very appealing about it.
Yeah, my barber does a good job.
Right, nice. Yeah, righto. Okay, well, we'll get going again, I think. It's an old borer. Look at that. What a cracker.
How's the angle on this ship?
That's magnificent. Look at that. Mr. Dennis is salivating. Look at him. Hey, he's like a fat boy at Christmas cake. There we go. Look at Ashley's grabbing the angle of the lean on that. Oh, look at that style. Oh, that's Guru Dog speciality right there.
Crouching tiger shot.
There you go. So this old shed's on a bit of a lean, and yeah, a good wind is probably going to end its life at some stage. So we come around and we come in here and see. Yep, righto. Not much use for anything these days. I think we shall continue on our journey of adventure. Dog on the road. As you can see, Ashley's back from his plastic surgery and his hair transplant.
Ashley Martin.
How'd it work, girls? Comments below. No, as you can see, it's actually not Ashley. The doggy's in another car. This is a special guest, friend of ours. His name's Derek. He's a real photographer, not like us. So, we're on a 3-day trip. There's 4 of us. We have another guest with us. And we're heading, well, it's a long way north. In fact, 650 kilometres north of the Barossa Valley, in that region where we live. It's about 700 kilometres north of Adelaide. So it's a long way. We're going to do about 1,500 kilometres in the next couple of days.
Sweet.
So 3 days of some fairly remote stuff, which should be terrific. Hope you like it. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Derek. Derek's a cracking lad. We love him. And he does some amazing stuff with the camera. He's very artistic in many ways. He's actually one of those people you actually hate because he's just so talented.
Everyone
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Thanks.
But he's coming along, of course, to learn some of the guru dog tricks.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We've got so much he can learn from us.
Soaking up the sweat of the dog. Can't wait.
Yeah, right. So Derek's coming along with us. What in particular are you looking forward to?
Looking forward to checking out different scenes and churches. I normally take photos of people, so it's just an interesting kind of thing to do something different. Using only film, no digital at all. So it's also going to be a bit of a surprise later on to see if shots work out. And hanging out with 3 other awesome fellas, the 3 Baldies and me.
There you go. So Derek has some terrific stuff. We'll post links below so that you can go and have a look at some of his work, because he is quite a talented chap. Go and enjoy his work after you finish watching The Guru Dog, of course. So now we're going to continue on and we'll go find some more stuff to show you. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a church at a town called Craddock. And it happens to be Doggy's favourite church to photograph. Derek getting some stuff out of the car. Oops. Let's go take a closer look. So Ashley,
Here we are.
this is your favourite church, mate?
Favourite church? Yeah, I do like the old Craddock. I think it's, I don't know what it is about it. I just love how gothic it is, in the middle of nothing. I mean, look at it. The size of it. I mean, imagine how long it would have taken to build.
That's right. It's amazing to think that a structure like this, where there would have been, maybe 100 people within 100 kilometres.
Yeah, no, it's out of control.
And they've put this together back in the 1800s.
But the thing is, when you get up closer and have a look at it, and you can see all the little artwork and that they've done around windows and that sort of thing, it's just, these guys were absolute professionals, weren't they? They weren't just brickies, mate. These guys are artisans, I believe they call them.
There you go.
And
well, look it up in the dictionary, people.
I don't know what it means, but I've heard it somewhere. I think it was a proper person said it.
Right, okay. So it's not really a guru dog word, is it?
It's not used. I mean,
No.
we start talking about f-stops and blooming do-flicky soon. We know
Don't go there.
from series 1 we don't go do-flicking.
We don't go do flicking. No. So let's go for a walk around. And there's an old big hole right there. It's now full of rubbish. But so be it. There's a cracking old door, which we kind of like. It's an old outhouse. Mate, you need to go?
No, I don't think it's a long drop anymore. It's a very short drop.
Right. There you go. Here it is at the back.
What does disappoint me, I might just say, is you have these beautiful old buildings and they've got to cover up the stained glass windows with perspex because peanuts throw rocks through it.
Even out here.
Even out here. And you know, the good thing about this church is no one's written on it or drawn a penis on it or something like that.
That's
No.
good. That's a good point. I had not noted that.
No.
Nice spotting.
But again, have a look at the brickwork, that they've actually beveled the edges of the stone.
Yes.
Like seriously, this would have taken ages to do. What an amazing
Yeah.
building, I love it.
Yeah.
It's massive.
It's not something you knock up overnight, is it?
No. And it's definitely not in use anymore, so it's not like one of the old ones where they have a service once a month. This sucker it just doesn't get used anymore. What an absolute shame.
Yeah, absolute shame.
And then you got your common as muck church over there that nobody stops to
Look
look
at that.
at.
Eh? How many of those have we seen?
Oh,
Every 10 kilometres.
dime
you
a
see-
dozen out
Aye.
here. Cheapest.
Not like this old beauty. And I'm not talking about Paul.
1913.
Look at that. So what's your impressions, Mr. Dennis?
I think given that it's about 106 years old, the stonework looks amazing. The quality is great. It's people have put a lot of time and effort into it.
Yep.
And it appears to be fairly well preserved.
Yeah. It's incredible the detail, isn't it?
Yes, it almost looks like it's had some restoration work done on it as well in a few spots. So
For a remote community to put that together,
yeah,
incredible.
it's amazing. Yeah.
People worshipping with their hands.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
There you go. All right. Derek's loving it. Doggy's got gold again. He just keeps coming up with photographic gold. He can't do anything else, can he, really? How's Derek going there?
Doing good. Flexing my camera muscles.
Right, he's got the film Leica there. You know, he hasn't come into the 21st century yet, is Derek? He's yeah. Oh, well, there you go. Look at that.
Start filming in RAW again when I watch.
Sorry?
Shooting in JPEG.
Oh, mate, what is wrong with you? There you go. Look at that. Beautiful. It is a cracking old church, and you can see why it's Doggy's favourite. It's just got so much character, and it's just sitting here unused. And as Paul said, you can see some aspects of it have definitely been fixed up over the years. But we love it. Makes it easy to enjoy photography and enjoy our travelling adventures when you come across this sort of stuff all the time. An absolute cracker. Saint Cecilia. There you go. With thanks to the hard-working folks of the 19th century. So we hope you have enjoyed that, and we'll have some shots for you, no doubt. And we'll put one or two of them up right now.
g'day there. This is Guru Dog. This is another one of our amazing journeys we're going to be on. On this trip, you've obviously met Derek, and we've also brought along Paul. Say g'day, Paul.
How you going?
Paul's an absolute champion. He's our MacGyver of everything. He is keen about camping, and we're really looking forward to taking him out into Farina, which is a pretty remote place. Don may have already told you about it. I don't know. It's been a while since we've been out on the road, so the weather's come good again, and it's time to hit the road. So, Paul, what are you expecting from the trip, mate? Anything exciting or serious?
Yeah, looking forward to see some history. Hopefully see a few wild animals. And yeah, great to see the countryside. It's looking pretty dry. There's a few hungry looking sheep around the place, but yeah, it's looking exciting.
Yeah, no, it should be good. Now, I just want to put a little note in this bit that me and Paul are not related. I know we look like identical twin brothers. He got the looks and I got the hair, clearly. But no, we are not brothers, are we?
No. Ashley chose to grow the beard just so you could be able to tell us apart.
Just so you didn't get confused. Now, you talked about the dryness, Paul. I mean, this is the end of winter, the start of spring, and there is, other than salt bush, there is nothing but dirt, is there? So pretty
September,
bad.
October should be the time for all the wildflowers.
Yeah.
But be interesting to see when we get a bit further up towards the Wilpena area and Blimman, whether there is any flowers at all or whether it's just dead stubble.
Yeah, we dead stubble. So we're looking forward to Farina. We've got a few towns to go through, and we just left Craddock, and that's one of the greatest churches you're ever going to see, and we'll probably show you a photo of that. And we're going to have lots of video footage on this with Derek's taking Super 8, and old mate Paul here, he's got his video camera as well, so we should get a lot of footage for you, and hopefully we'll get some great photos. But we'll just concentrate on the road now and keep travelling along, but we look forward to chatting to you a bit later on.
Yep,
Catch you later.
So we have arrived here at Farina, and as you can see, Ashley and Paul are already getting into setting up their gear for the night, because tonight we want to do some astrophotography. Want to do some sunset and some astro. Then in the morning we're hoping to get some sunrise photography. here in the old township of Farina. And as you can see, we've found this old car. Derek's got his Leica black and white camera out, taking some shots, and I'm going to grab a few myself just as the sun is setting. So with the sunlight catching the clouds behind it, it's going to make for some nice shots, I think. So let's see what we can do.
Well, g'day, here we are at Farina. Now if you look behind me, got a bit of action going on. The boys are setting up for some obviously going to be amazing shots, and they're going to be taking a photo of that. It's probably one of the original homesteads here. Pretty cool looking place. The sun's going to be alright, I reckon, tonight. Got a bit of colour in the sky. But Farina is well, we always say we're in the middle of nowhere, but I think for once we can actually say we're in the middle of nowhere. It's I don't know where it is, out past Lyndhurst, so in the middle of Flinders, well past the Flinders Ranges, out towards the Gammon Ranges. Settled in 1878. Don't even know how long it was around for, but yeah, it's a pretty cool spot. So we're talking to someone else there now. We've got too many people. There's too many directors and producers of this show. This is how it all happens here. It all looks very glamorous, doesn't it? Have a look at this. Sitting on your bum taking photos. Derek with his, I don't know, what do you got, a Kodak, is it? Is that a Kodak camera?
Shut up. It's a Leica.
I like it, that's right.
German engineering.
Yeah, isn't Kodak German as well? What was nervous laughter? Swami, he's
It's been a long time since we called that.
AC Bhakta Devanta Swami Prabhupada. That's him there setting up. That's why he's called the Guru. There you go. And then we got Mr. I Can't Stop Taking Photos, Paul Dennis over there. And look at that sunset. And look at that house. So this is what we do here for you at Guru Dog. We find places in the middle of nowhere and take photos of them, make them look awesome. So anyway, that's enough of raving from me. See you later on.
Day two, and as you can see behind us, there's a little bit of colour in the sky this morning, which is nice, and it's just starting to build up on the tops of the trees.
Did you sleep last night, Don?
Oh,
You sound and look as though you didn't.
I had a little bit of sleep.
You didn't have much sleep because you kept us awake. We had no sleep. We had no sleep last night thanks to Don. I don't want to drop him in on international YouTube, but I reckon I got a genuine 3 hours. Paul was up at 4. Paul's holding the camera. Turn around, Paul. Say hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
There you go. So Paul's on the camera because he was awake at 4 because of Dawn. No, he was awake at 4:15.
My alarm went off.
4:15.
His alarm went off. Who sets their alarm for 4 o'clock?
That's
You
alarming.
said we were doing morning photography.
That is alarming. And there's Derek over there. He's spritzing himself already first thing in the morning.
Got your trousers on? Good.
He's a handsome man even first thing in the morning. Anyway, enough of this tomfoolery. It is sunrise and we're about to take some more awesome shots at Farina. And then the rest of the day is going to be heading down towards Beltana, into Blinman. We might go see Nuckalina Mines, Appalina Mines.
Yeah.
There's just so much to do. Who can actually say? I know Derek wants to say something.
It's actually a pity we've only got 3 days.
Only 3 days. But, you know, that's what we do at Guru Dog. We're quick and in and out like a crab's eye.
That's it.
That could have gone anywhere, that statement, but it didn't, which is lucky.
I think this might
Derek,
get
how are you?
This might get edited.
Can you just put it on, did we say you were yesterday?
Dynamo Derek.
Rob Lowe from St Elmo's Fire with your hair.
Is it? Well, what's it like today?
Like to be wearing a hat.
It's like somebody from One Direction.
I just tried to put some goop in it.
He's not sure what direction it's from.
You can get pretty close with that, mate. It's all right.
Anyway, that's enough nonsense. Kettle's on the thing.
Yeah.
We're
We're going to try and make something that resembles a coffee.
All right, we'll talk to you later on. Cheerio.
That's looking pretty good.
There you go. Look at him. So here we are. As you can see, we're back at our friend in the car. There's a bit of colour in the sky just as the sun's about to come up over there. So there's a bit of chilly breeze, as you might be able to tell from my beanie and hood. Just grabbed a few shots then, and the idea will be just to show that you can have one subject but create multiple different types of images, and they all have their own, you know, their own character and their own thing that'll attract some people, and other shots won't attract anybody. So it's still before sunrise, but it's going to come up fairly soon. So hopefully we've got some good shots today here at the car and at some of the other ruins here at Farina. So the other boys are all wandering around. Derek's over there. He's got himself something that he likes and he's gonna get onto that. If I come around the corner here comes our mate Doggy. He's been getting gold again, of course, and over there, just at that ruin there, which is the old police station, Mr. Dennis is taking some shots. Oh, he's getting a bit abstract with some of the refuse that's been left, with the colour behind it. So let's go and have a look at what he's looking at. Oh, look at that, with the sun coming up like that. Yeah, that's good, Mr. Dennis. I'm liking that. He's being very quiet today. Right, so we'll go back now. The sun's actually come up, and I'll try and get a few more shots of that sun behind the car. And if we get anything that we like and that we think that you might like, then we'll show it now. We continue to take photos of the car, photos of ruins, photos of anything that took our interest. We took advantage of the lovely sunlight, and then we decided we'd better move on. It was time to head back to camp, have some breakfast, and move on to our next destination. We got back to camp, and I started to feel, well, a little nauseous. And then as I was talking to Ashley, I realised I was about to pass out. I sat down on the back of his car, and then it happened. I passed out, not once, but twice.
Turn it up. Passed out twice. How about convulsed in the back of my van while I was holding him up, only to wake up and ask what was wrong. Then bugger me, he does it again, poor old bugger. Anyway, we had to pack up camp. Don had to go off quickly with Paul. Paul's the absolute legend, saved the day. Put him in his car and took him down to Lee Creek Medical Centre. It's not even a hospital anymore. 65 k's down the road it was. Now, if you see the police, don't tell them this, but Paul did say he was doing about 130 k an hour the whole way, calling out Mayday, Mayday on the CB radio. It was pretty serious. By the time me and Derek got there, Paul's car was so far up the driveway, I thought he was actually in the medical centre, and I thought, this doesn't look good. Don's actually probably dead. Anyway, we go inside and there's Don sitting up having some kind of fizzy blooming sweet drink, and look, $1 million worth of nurses fussing over him, and we have no idea to this day what was wrong with him, but it did completely stuff our trip up. And for you, the good viewers, stuffed up your enjoyment of Guru Dog. So we didn't have the other 2 days to show you. Anyway, it took us 7 hours to get him home because he was in a bit of pain with his shoulder. And then he went to hospital, and I think I had to pick him up at 2:30 in the morning because he was in there that long. It was the biggest lot of malingering I've ever seen in my life. But there you go. And that's what you do for mates. So, it didn't do us any favours on this trip, but it's good to know that Don will be around for more Guru Dog episodes. However, should it happen again, we'll probably just leave him there because it was actually just a waste of time. But it's going to be bigger and better next time. So look, continue to subscribe and watch and click like and tell your friends about how awesome Guru Dog is. And you never know, do you? With someone Don's age, we might be able to get you some footage of him actually falling off the twig. So that would really get good rating. Anyway, cheers. We'll see you next time. We can't wait to bring you the next episode, which is all about four-wheel driving, so you should be able to enjoy that. Don't forget to subscribe. Love you all. Bye now.